In this episode of the RV Small Talk podcast, we revisit some of the so-called modern-day prophets of the RV land prophecies and wonder, have the prices on 2020 and 2021 and 2022 RVs come crashing down? Are people trading in their COVID-era RV purchases? What is happening? Let's take a look and see the landscape in 2023. Also, is it time to sell? Is it time to trade in? What are you going to get? Did you miss the wave? PJ, we're going to figure that one out too?
Well, we're going to talk about it.
You got to figure it out for yourself.
I don't know that we'll figure it out, but I bet you'll have an opinion by the end of this, one way or another.
Maybe so. Welcome to the RV Small Talk podcast, where we talk about lightweight trailers, truck campers, and the people, places, and adventures that go right along with them. We're your hosts from Princess Craft RV. I'm Clint.
I'm PJ.
And I don't want to go to the dentist today.
Valid.
Stop. Okay, who wants to go to the dentist, Lindsay? I mean, really.
I mean, to be honest.
I went yesterday.
Hopefully
Clint
no
went
one.
Monday.
No, I went yesterday. It was yesterday morning I went.
Was it yesterday?
Yeah. And you know what? It was delightful. They have
Delightful?
like a back massaging chair,
Shut
great
up.
music. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You liar.
No, totally.
Oh, wow.
What?
We need a new dentist, Lindsay.
No, we don't.
It's right here, the old settlers.
No.
yeah.
I just got
Did
used
they
to
give
this
you a
one.
pedicure at the same time? Because, that would be kind of awesome.
They were sweet enough that if I had asked, they might have obliged me. But I honestly, pedicures never crossed my mind.
Yeah, well.
A scalp
Have you
massage?
seen how far away my feet are, my toes are from my thinking?
Yeah, that's why
I get
My
it.
cranium?
It's
Yeah.
never crossed your mind because you're tall, so your brain is far away from your feet.
Honestly, when I look at my feet, they look
the dad jokes.
They look so itty bitty from here.
But they're not. I promise.
I know, but my vantage point.
I see your shoes all the time next to your desk. They are not small.
All right. Well, so here's the how we came about the idea for this podcast. Obviously, we're a dealership. We see what's still on the sales lot in inventory, and we're privy to a lot of the reports for the nation. And we have people come in all the time. It's kind of word on the street kind of stuff. And they ask or talk about what they already have, what they're looking for. And the question is this a good time to buy, or is this a good time to sell? And what has a change in market meant for prices?
Well, and I will tell you from the people that I talk to, sometimes they walk in and say, yeah, I'm just looking because I'm going to buy used next year.
I feel like I've been hearing that consistently for 3 years. And it's, I mean,
over and over.
I do love someone who plans and has a plan. I think that's awesome.
I
It's
like
just
someone
funny
who
how
plans and who has a plan who actually enacts that plan. I like that. And it can be, and it's not just purchases. It's life goals and all that. If you plan and you actually take actionable steps towards it, that's a person I think, I want to be more like that. Because I'm not always like that.
I feel like it's never like this time. Like whatever time you're in at the moment, it's always like, okay, in a little bit is going to be the right time. And then in a little bit, it's like, okay, but in a little bit, it's going to be the right time. I'm waiting for this, right? I'm waiting.
That's kind of how I am about going to the dentist, by the way.
So
In a little bit, it will be a much better time to do that.
you feel like it's maybe they say not yet, next year and all that, but really what they're looking for is an actual trigger? Like
Yes,
something
they're
to take that step forward?
Or they're waiting for all the magazines and the internets to say,
this one.
it's here. Today's the day.
Some people need a lot more reassurance that they're making the right decision.
Right.
Well, it feels better.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it just boils down to fear. Or there's that person that feels like they can't buy anything unless it's the deal of a lifetime.
Right.
Right.
And, sometimes that's just perception.
Right.
It is never a deal of a lifetime, right?
You're
rarely
always trading something. You're trading your time or your information or your money. There's always a trade.
Yeah. Is it like Grandpa who says, I remember when bread was a nickel? Well, it's never going to be a nickel again. Never.
I mean, how small a piece of bread are we talking?
Yeah, really. It's
Saltine.
no piece
I'm
of
pretty
bread.
sure I can get a saltine for a nickel.
I could probably bum that off of someone here at work.
But that being said, I do the same thing, and I feel like we need to value people who work really so hard for their money and
absolutely.
save. And so, yeah, they do want to wait for the deal of a century because it feels like they're giving up something that they worked really hard for. And if they don't look for the right deal, then it feels like it's for nothing.
Yeah, it's a personality type, and there's an emotional connection to the work in order that was involved to get to that point. And then once you've got that work, and it now looks like money. Well, and to pass that off
is it is emotional. You're right.
And buying into a thing, now it feels a little bit more like the unknown.
The unknown. I've been watching too much Frozen. I'm sorry.
Well, now that we have evaluated the psychology of all these people that say that, and we have
the time, PJ?
Then let's look at the logical part of this, because how much cheaper were trailers 3 years ago?
2020 or 2019, 3 years ago?
Well, let's even put it at 2020.
Do you have those numbers handy?
I don't. But I can tell you the average is 30 to 40% cheaper.
Whoa.
At the beginning of 2020?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we'll ever go back that far. Do you think it can possibly roll back even 15%?
I mean, yeah, things are not going to just drop.
That's huge.
$15,000. I mean, ever, much less anytime soon.
Yeah.
It's almost going to happen. It's not.
Well, okay, so what's that? Let me, there's so many questions here. Here's the first one. Everyone said when the prices started going up, everyone said, well, I'm going to hold out until the people who buy at these high prices offload them. Is this the season that people are offloading them? Are we seeing that?
Oh, I think we're in a whole nother area now, because offloading, that moves into used.
Right.
So that's not even a comparison. You threw me off track because, number one, I was checking my phone, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. But also, I think there's so much to talk about new. Moving to used is a whole can of worms.
All right, so we can bring that can of worms back on the table, eat it later.
So I can put the top on it now?
Worms.
Yeah.
Can I back up?
Yeah.
Beep, beep,
you can slow them down if you keep them cool, so we'll put them in the fridge.
Okay. Well, when you're talking about new ones, if the price has gone up so much, then if you have to have a new one, you're thinking, okay, well, the price is going to come down, right? So a lot of people are still waiting, thinking the price got really high, and now it's going to have to come down. Right?
But that is also what we're used to hearing. I'm so sorry we had to have a price increase. Mm-hmm. We had to do this because of shortages and staff problems. But once everything normalizes, that's what we're hearing too. So is it a lie?
I don't think it takes everything into account. Like, okay. It was hard to get inventory for a while, and the only way to stay open as a dealership is to have something to sell, right? Mm-hmm. So prices went up at the manufacturer. Why? Not necessarily always because the manufacturer just arbitrarily decided to. Prices went up because the components that they use to build trailers and RVs went way up.
Yes.
And then they had to find new staff, and the requirements there were expensive and sometimes went way up. So every single item that went up. And so for a dealership to purchase or to have on hand something on the lot, it costs more just to get it. That's why MSRPs went up in that time.
Well, because what we were paying for them went up.
Right.
We paid more for a trailer.
Yeah,
we didn't just raise prices because we thought it would be fun.
We did a whole podcast on this trickle-down effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Okay, so the reason I was distracted and checking my phone is because I emailed our top 5 reps here at Princess Craft. And I asked them if they anticipated... Thank you.
I feel much better.
I don't. I feel the same, but apparently it's better.
You can hear out of both ears now, right?
Oh, no, I can hear nothing pretty much. I'm good. Anyway, back to it.
Terrible.
We had a little wiring thing going on here. So I emailed 5 reps and said, do you anticipate your price dropping in the next 12 months? Because that's one of the things people keep thinking,
right,
is that prices are going to drop.
I can't wait to hear what they said.
Yeah.
I thought, this will be great. I can tell everybody, no, nobody's going to drop their prices. But
I see a yes on your screen.
1 out of the 5 said yes.
Oh.
1 out of the 5 said yes. Okay. So maybe a few prices will drop. Will it drop 40%? I don't anticipate. But here's what's happening. Not only are the products are coming into the building of this, the manufacturers are able to buy them at a better price now because there isn't as much of a shortage.
Right.
They still have some. So some of them have a little room to move. But here's the problem. They are still stacked full of product, just like dealerships are.
Yeah.
Right. And the product that they're stacked with is the product that they already built that costs more to build.
Right. So it takes some time to work through that. And when you have to scale back to build less, you still have staff, you still have expenses, you still have all these costs you've ramped up for. It is not going to scale back a lot, I don't think. But it may scale back a little with some manufacturers.
Right.
Now, here is the thing. If you're looking at buying new, is now the time to buy? I'll tell you, if you are willing to take a 2022 that is sitting on somebody's lot right now, absolutely it is.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely it is.
But why, PJ?
Because we all have too many.
That's right.
Usually this time of year, we're working really hard to clear out the 2023s because 2024s are going to arrive
in a few months.
Right. Sometime in the summer, maybe early summer. Most of them hopefully will be August, but some might be a little earlier. So, if there's 22s out there, we are discounting up to 40% on some of them.
And this is a team effort.
That's huge.
It's not just the dealerships doing this. The manufacturers are working with the dealerships because everyone needs to get this, this backup moved forward.
We need to get the backlog that happened when all of a sudden the demand slowed down and the buying was still, the building was still going. Right. We kind of crossed. So that's got to kind of right itself. And so right now, if you're willing to take a 22, you need to hot foot it yesterday to the dealer to the dealership.
See what deals they're having.
What's out there. Lots of people have great deals. I know we have amazing deals.
Right.
Some of our units are selling at cost or maybe even below. We will deliver them to you for free if you don't live nearby. I mean, we have all kinds of programs running right now. Yeah. So, if you're looking for that, why not buy now?
Why would a dealership go to such extreme measures to sell something below cost?
Well, because it's expensive to have things that aren't going anywhere. When they come to us, we actually put it on a credit line called flooring.
Right.
So we floor them. And when we do that, we pay interest. And after a year and a half, that interest gets more expensive. And then eventually we have to start paying for them.
Right.
So we need them to go.
Right. So it's actually more cost effective
for us to give them away.
Right. Because interest is just like any other bill that we have in our lives. It keeps on coming. And for us on these products, it actually starts to go up, like you said, after a period of
That's
time.
right. So if you're willing to take a 22, a new one, you still get a full warranty with the manufacturer.
Because it's new.
Because
it hasn't
it's
left
new.
the lot.
Yep. Now is absolutely the time.
Yep.
Now, if you have to have the latest and greatest or think you're going to miss something, then hold on, because 2024s will be here in 4 or 5 months. The 23s will have good prices on them. The 22s will have great prices on them.
Right.
And it will not get better than right now if you're buying a 2022 new one.
Caitlin, that trailer you have your eyes on, the 2022, you need to get it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Credit app today. So, yeah, that's where we are with new. Dealers are overstocked. There's some older ones out there. Great deals right now for that. Will the prices come down? I think maybe there might be a hair of a price reduction. It is not going to be what people anticipate. But now let's talk about the used ones.
Okay.
Do you think?
Come out can of worms.
Yes, yes. Oh, by the way, I can see the official stat surveys numbers from January. I can't see February and March. In 2023, we jump-started with a 22% decrease in sales out the gate.
Is that
And I think
what you
that
see
has
across the board
continued for the
everybody?
first quarter. That is overall in Texas.
Okay.
So people are selling less. Obviously, customers are buying a little less. That has been pretty standard for 6 months or so. So that is why we are at the point that we are with these older units.
Okay.
Yeah. So what about a used one? What do you think about used?
If I find a good used anything, I mean, I'd check it out. I run it through its paces and get my, eagle eyes on it. Someone with better eyes than me. But if it's used and in good shape, that usually is a great deal. I mean, I think.
I will tell you what I'm seeing now, just in a nutshell, is that when we're trying to buy some used ones as trade-ins, we have to give pretty low numbers because used units are gauged by the NADA book, like a Kelley Blue Book valuation, and those are dropping dramatically.
Across the board.
Across the board. Those numbers are dropping, partly because there is quite a few used ones out there.
Did those NADA valuations go up over the past couple of years and now they come down? Or did they kind of plateau and stay where they're at and now they're going down?
That is exactly what happened. Yeah, they went up when there was such a demand.
Right.
The used ones were selling for a lot more because people just wanted a trailer. So now you may have purchased something, even new or used, at the top of the market. And now if you want to trade it out or sell it, your NADA values have dropped.
Did people miss the wave? If they were considering selling and they kind of held out thinking, I got time, did they miss it?
That's a tough question. The standard brands, what I like to call standard brands, ones that are a standard trailer, they don't have anything terribly special. They were the layout that you wanted, the price that you wanted, kind of the medium range trailers.
Right.
They probably are not going to get you out from under your loan right now.
Okay.
If you go to sell it used.
Okay.
So be aware of that. You may have missed that wave of buying it and selling it.
Selling it for a profit.
Yes, that is exactly right. So I would hang on there. Now, if you pay cash for it, you won't be in that position, but you will lose a little bit there. And I don't think that's going to get any better. I think we're going to see NADA values either stay the same or drop just a bit more.
Okay.
Now, in the specialty trailer market, and we sell a lot of that here at Princess Craft, we're not seeing quite as much of a drop. Why? I don't know. Maybe people are still wanting to buy those. So not as much if you have, say, a teardrop or a real unique trailer.
Right.
Or a Class B. They're still flying fine.
Sure.
But standard trailers have dropped.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I were to compare this to, say, the financial and the stock world, would you classify this time period as a correction in the market?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're going to have to adjust the new, the used, the pricing. And, it's kind of been all over the map. It's starting to stabilize a little bit, I think, but it's going to take a little more time. We really won't know the landing point until the end of the year.
Yeah.
And, here's the funny thing. If you compare used prices to some of the new 2022 deals out there, sometimes used is more than you can make a deal on a 2022.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, a used one is people are going to try to sell it for more.
Because dealerships
than a
don't
new
have
one.
to pay for used units. Are you talking about buying from a person or buying from a dealership?
If you're looking to buy one.
Right.
Yeah.
A used unit from a dealership, because dealerships don't have to pay flooring for used units. So the new 2022 will be cheaper. Oh, now my headphones are messing up.
Yeah, technical issues.
We've had all around the office technical issues
It's been a day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so that's something that if you're looking at it, I would definitely check used against new. You may find that a 3 or 4 year old used one is only a few $1,000s away from what you could buy a 2022 new one for. And at that point, why would you do that?
Right.
Take the new one, take the warranty, much better value, even if it's a 2022.
Right. And you get to do all the stuff to it. So you don't have to deal with someone else's stuff. So I got I don't know if it's a cynical question or line of thinking, but to consider it, you hear people allude to the fact that they think, God, this is hard to get out.
I'm waiting.
That people who bought RVs during COVID era, 2020, 21, and 22, that they were taken for a ride. And I mean, even more cynical, that it was like conspiracy, like the dealerships and manufacturers purposely just jacked up the prices and took customers for a ride.
I would love to say absolutely not true, but there were dealerships that jacked up their prices unnecessarily. But they took advantage of market pricing. They weren't really gouging customers.
Right.
And
because just to have the product was super expensive for the dealership.
It was hard to get product.
Right.
And whatever you were able to get and sell had to fund your dealership and keep it open.
Right.
So
keep people employed at your dealership.
There was a lot that went into that. So some prices were higher and.
Yeah. Why doesn't your flashlight turn off?
I don't know.
No, you just.
Oh, sorry.
Man, all kinds of gadgets. So yeah, some probably did get unnecessarily high.
Right.
But honestly, all this talk about pricing, let's talk about so many other things in the world that we had to spend more money on. But the value of your life, the experiences, the reason you buy an RV, maybe it was to house somebody who was a doctor who needed to be safe.
Maybe it was for your own sanity and emotional health. And it's hard to put a price on that, but you can't put a price on it.
Yeah. I mean, everything got more expensive. Toilet paper got more expensive, not just RVs. It was literally everything.
Right.
So I don't know. If you're looking strictly at numbers, you probably pay a little more than you could get that for now. But that's the way of the world, isn't it? I mean, is that cynical of me?
I don't know. So if you got to do these outings to national parks, state parks, private campgrounds, RV parks and all that, if you got to do that because you paid a little bit more for an RV versus sitting at home, wallowing, getting depressed, or taking your chances on trips that were maybe going to happen. Maybe you get stuck in a cabin on a cruise, you know, because those trips are expensive. You know, if you account for everything that you could have done and what you actually did do, or the fact that you did nothing and got depressed, your health went down too. If you account for everything, it kind of is a wash to me. But in some respects, you got to have memories and make memories. You know, from a financial perspective, it's a wash. You either did something or you didn't. But from a you're a better human or a more well human standpoint, then you probably came out ahead in light of what the world went through.
Are you saying if people bought an RV during COVID, they're better humans?
Maybe better off, maybe doing better, maybe survivaling better because they're survivalists.
They're surviving and thriving.
Well, we hope.
Yeah, you got to hope. But, whenever you're talking about buying anything, it gets into the psychology of, are we talking strictly money management here? Or are we talking about trading experiences for finances? If we're strictly talking money management, it probably was not the best time to buy an RV.
Yeah.
But lots of people did it anyway, and they did it for other reasons.
Is the number attached to your money, is that the end goal? Maybe for some it is.
Yes.
Or is living.
Yeah. Yeah. Lindsay is very attached to her money, and you're a great money manager, and you are. And it's hard for you to spend money. We talked about, what was it this morning that you didn't buy?
A coffee cup at Starbucks that I really liked with the Blue Mermaid on it. Okay, but see, I got it from my dad, who I have to tell you a random story, Clint.
Okay.
Hawk changed numbers. My son changed numbers on his baseball team, and my dad did not want to buy a new shirt with his new number on the back. So
because the shirt cost what? $20?
I think it's like $17.
$17.
So
you can do a lot with $17 depending on what establishment you go to.
So he shows up at my son's game last night with his old T-shirt on, and he had printed out number 59 and on a piece of computer paper and stapled it to the back of his shirt, and showed up to the game like that. And like, it's the most dad thing ever, because he was proud of it, right? He's like showing people, and he was like, this will last forever.
Whoa.
So yeah, I guess that's where I get my don't spend any money.
I mean, that's cool. That's like Depression era thinking, but
I mean, we all thought it was hilarious. It's a conversation piece, and he saved $17. So
what did he get?
Who's the winner here?
What did he get?
I don't know.
He got a story. He got other people sharing in the story. He got family memories. That I think that eventually is going to be a framed T-shirt.
How much did that printer ink cost?
I mean, nowadays,
right?
A lot.
Was it Brother? Was it Epson? Was it Canon? What was it?
Who knows? Anyway.
Well,
yeah. So, yeah, that is funny, but that is a perfect example. What's the exchange? If you didn't already have a trailer, Lindsay, would you have bought one during the pandemic?
No.
Why?
Because it wouldn't have made sense, because my mom owns an RV dealership. I'm sorry. I tried to come up with something better, but that's the truth.
Clint, I know you wouldn't have. You are very fiscally conservative.
Thanks for noticing my fiscalness.
Yeah. Your fiscalness is looking great today.
I know, because, and we've talked about this before, RVs never crossed the synapses of my mind until I worked here. Mm-hmm. So it's still, if I didn't work here, still, it never would have crossed my mind. Would I have considered upgrading my tent? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You would have a super fancy tent.
Mm-hmm.
If I had the experience of having a trailer and then did not have a trailer, then I might have considered buying one.
Okay,
but
maybe more.
If I didn't have one in the first place, then no, it would not have crossed my mind, because it would have just been like, we don't need this. But now I have an emotional connection, and I can validate the purchase because I know what I'm getting from it, and it's not just a box on wheels.
That makes sense. I think that I'm probably closer to the category than I used to be. Exactly what you expressed. Because I work here.
PJ's upset that we're bringing emotion into it, I think.
No,
maybe.
not at all. But I'm thinking, I feel so bad for all of these hundreds of people every year that come in here that say, I keep thinking about this, but I don't know. I've never done it before.
Yeah.
And we have to talk to them.
They're definitely missing out.
about what they're doing. Yeah,
That's true.
But how do you get people past that? That is a whole nother podcast.
Well,
but yeah,
that's their problem.
It
I mean,
makes-
like in the nicest way possible. I mean, it is.
there
because
is no nice way to say that, Lindsay.
everybody's you can't make somebody cross the finish line. It's a tough decision. So that's
It is.
something they gotta work through. But I just want everyone to know that if you bought a trailer during the pandemic, I
don't think you messed up.
I think you did a great thing, and you're not a bad person. Jesus loves you.
As long as you as long as you use it and get the value out of the health, the mental state, the emotional state, and all that, then no, you did a fantastic thing for yourself.
Well, I probably will get in just as much trouble as Lindsay just did.
Do it.
Because I'll say, you know what? The experience is more important than the money. And work hard for your money and try to figure out what within your budget you can afford to have the most experiences. Because to me, that's the value of life. And so now we're getting really philosophical.
But I like
You're not
it.
a bad
This podcast took a left turn.
I like philosophical.
Well,
Caitlin's nodding her head. Yes, it
okay.
did.
Well, if we bring it back down to earth
Okay.
and kind of put it all in a nutshell,
Yeah.
in a pecan shell, as someone said recently.
Very Texan.
Yes, very Texan.
Unless you're Canadian, it's pecan.
A pecan.
pecan shell.
That's what you have on boats, by the way.
That's right.
Yeah.
Unless you just pee over the edge.
Well, unless you're a guy.
Yeah, why wouldn't you pee over the edge?
Afraid a shark will come up and bite you?
No left turn here because you're a
Okay.
girl. That's why you wouldn't.
It's still easy. You just sit.
It's not as easy.
Well, it's
So-
never as easy, but we can do hard things.
Maybe it
like
depends-
pee off the sides of boats. Okay, let's stop talking about pee.
Should we talk about knee health? Is that where we're coming to on the... Okay, never mind.
I would apologize, but if you're still listening, yeah, it's your own dumb fault.
Listener,
I'm pretty sure this is how we gain listeners.
Listener, we love you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, PJ, you were trying to say
Rein it
something.
in.
I was trying to kind of wrap us
I
up
got the-
because we obviously are falling off the edge. So,
We're peeing off the edge.
yeah, you are. All right.
Fun watching her being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm trying to move us along here.
All right.
So if you bought a new one in the past 3 years, good for you. You had great experiences. Selling it right now might be tough, particularly if you owe some money on it. Okay. Not impossible. I would say you got a probably pretty good interest rate. So hang on to that if you financed it because interest rates are up 2, 3, 4%.
Right.
And that adds a tremendous amount of money to your purchase
even
at
thought
this
from
point.
that angle, but you're
even
absolutely
if
right.
you get a deal.
Yeah.
So hats off to you. Have fun. Enjoy that camper. All right.
Well, if the prices don't come down all that much across the manufacturers, then the interest
It's
rates alone is
still a
going
win.
to make that even
It is
out.
still a win.
over
yeah.
time.
Yeah. Just go have fun. If you bought a used one during the pandemic, good for you. They were hard to get. You are still going to maybe lose a little bit because the prices came down, but you're probably going to be in fine shape if you're ready to sell.
Yeah.
All right. If you are looking to buy right now, today, my recommendation, if you're looking between a late model used or a new,
Here it
skip
comes.
the used.
Do the 2022. There's so
Look for
many
a deal
out there.
on a new one.
Yeah.
And you will find it right now.
Absolutely.
That window is going to close in the next few months. So right now is the best time to buy a new one if you're flexible in what you want and an older year model.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, even if there's a slight difference between something that you like that's used or something that's available and brand new, I mean, just think about the warranty on just the appliances, the warranty from the manufacturer. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Look at what's available on the market that's a 2022.
And even if the brand new ones have a bit of a price decrease, it is not going to match the deals that you can get right now down the road from you. It is just not going to match it. So don't hesitate if you're ready. Now, if you're listening to this and it is the end of 2023, then
You missed it.
then you may have missed those, but there still will be some deals out there. So yeah, keep looking there. And you know what? The other thing that's not going to come down, interest rates.
Yeah.
So they're higher than they were. We're just going to have to adjust to it. So if you need to finance, just be ready. They're going to be a bit higher, but get the trailer that you want at a great deal, and that interest rate isn't going to mess with you nearly as much if you're saving thousands on a new trailer right now.
Right. Lindsay,
Yes.
I would like to know your closing thoughts.
My closing thoughts are
Okay, Clint, your closing
I was going to
thoughts.
say, you can tell this is about to be deep.
I was trying to think of
or non-existent.
I was trying to think of Frozen lyrics that would go along with this, but I froze.
You froze.
No, I don't know. I think everything PJ said is true. I don't know. I also feel like we always push people to buy now, and now is the right time. And sometimes it feels like a bit of a commercial, but
Oh yeah, I mean that's true. I didn't even think of that.
I just want everybody to have a trailer and go camping because it really is the experience. And I think I've seen the prices on our 2022s, and I've seen the sales that other dealerships are having, and it's crazy. So yeah, I feel like if you have an inkling right now that this is something you might want to do, then without sounding like a commercial, now is it.
Yeah.
Do it.
I will tell you, I don't think there is a single 2022 on our lot. And last week, when I looked between two locations, we had, get this, guys, 171 2022 models on our lot.
That's too many.
At the end of the day, once we pay our people to check it out and deliver it to you, we're not going to make a dime on those.
Yeah.
Not a dime. Our prices are that good.
Yeah.
And I've seen it
But we're not making a commercial.
everywhere else. But we're not making a commercial. But just backing up, that's why I say I can't continue this.
Right.
But that's where it is right now. Here, I know it's that way other places as well. So that's why it's a good time to buy.
So my thought is, throughout the past few years and going ahead even, and no matter what category, RVs or not, do or do not, and make your peace with it.
There is no try.
There is no try.
It's only do and not do.
And that's just the thing. If you did decide to get a trailer, if you're going to decide to get a trailer, then run with that decision and you will be better for it. But if you decide not to, run with that decision and do other stuff with your money and you'll be better for it.
Yeah.
Just pursue something.
I think that is great advice. I think we have changed the world here.
Oh man.
We have
I don't know
certainly,
about
we have certainly, I don't know, reframed it for me.
Okay.
Because I do think RVs are valuable in more ways than
Yep.
traveling.
Yep. Are we done here?
I think we have, yeah, I'm not going to say that.
Okay. Everybody, you can check out the show notes for this episode and previous episodes over at rvsmalltalk.com. We got some nice stuff over there to listen to, so get your ears open to it. Also, you can find us on social media at RV Small Talk Podcast. It doesn't really matter which social media, you can find us there.
And guess what?
What?
The Texas Tiny Trailer Rally is coming up August 27th to August 30th.
In August? August?
No, it's not August. No August. It is April.
Right.
April 27th through April 30th in Bandera, Texas. It doesn't matter if you have new or used. It doesn't matter where you bought it, and it doesn't matter how big it is. It's a free rally. Check out TexasTinyTrailerRally.com. And if you have a truck camper, we also have one of those. Then following weekend, TexasTruckCamper.com. TexasTruckCamperRally.com. Man,
You're doing
beginning
great.
of May.
They're never gonna find
Truck
this
Camper-
rally.
Yeah, TexasTruckCamperRally.com. And if you don't have a tiny trailer, you're still welcome.
yeah.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining us this week, and we will get this podcast out, and then we'll record another one and see you again next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye.